Have you ever noticed how some people seem to get everything they want, while others stay stuck in the same problems year after year? Here's the hard truth. Your weaknesses aren't just small flaws, they're silent destroyers working against you every single day. Most people think weakness is just part of their personality. Wrong. Weakness is a choice, and every day you choose to stay weak. You choose to stay powerless. Machiavelli understood something that society tries to hide from you. Everyone sees what you appear to be, but few experience what you really are. The world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards strength, strategy, and results. Today I'm going to show you how to spot the weaknesses that are quietly ruining your life and remove them before they destroy everything you've worked for. But first, think about this. What if everything you were taught about being nice and patient was meant to keep you controllable? Let's begin. 1. Weakness is programmed, not natural. You weren't born weak. Weakness is something carefully installed in your mind from childhood. From the start, society teaches you, always say sorry, even when you're not wrong. Put others before yourself. Don't speak up, it's rude. Accept mediocrity because everyone's trying. Wait for permission to chase your dreams. Feel guilty for wanting more. That's not education, that's programming. Its purpose? To create obedient, predictable people who never challenge the system. Look at how it shows up in daily life. You check your phone first thing every morning, letting others control your focus before you even think for yourself. You say yes to things you don't want because saying no feels uncomfortable, forgetting that every yes to something you don't want is a no to what you truly want. You hide your success so others don't feel bad, punishing yourself for doing well. You avoid tough conversations, letting problems grow instead of fixing them early. Machiavelli said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must be a fox to spot traps and a lion to scare wolves. But you've been trained to be neither. You've been trained to be prey. Every time you avoid conflict, accept less than you deserve, or make excuses for disrespect, you reinforce the weakness inside you. The worst part? This programming convinces you that choosing yourself is selfish, that having standards is cruel, and that wanting more makes you greedy. But here's the truth. The people who taught you those rules don't live by them. Successful people didn't get there by being endlessly nice. The good news? Once you recognize the programming, you can delete it. Start questioning every belief you were taught about being polite or patient. Ask yourself, does this belief help my goals or keep me small? When someone tells you to be realistic, ask if they're protecting you, or just protecting themselves from your potential. And when people say you've changed, take it as a compliment, not a criticism. 2. Weakness makes you a target. Here's something most people don't want to admit. In the real world, there are only two kinds of people: those who take what they want and those who get what's left. Your weaknesses aren't harmless. They're like bright signs saying, this person can be manipulated. Think about your job. Who gets promoted? The one who works hardest, or the one who knows how to make their value visible? Who gets noticed? The one who stays quiet and hopes someone sees their effort, or the one who confidently shows results? Think about your relationships. Who holds power? The person who's afraid to lose someone, or the one who's ready to walk away if they're disrespected? Who wins? The one who accepts anything just to avoid being alone, or the one who knows their worth and demands respect? When you show weakness, people test your boundaries. They push a little more each time just to see how much you'll take. You make choices, and those choices shape your life. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, but few experience what you really are." Stop appearing weak by believing the lies that keep you small. Each truth you accept moves you closer to real strength and success. Now drop this affirmation in the comments. I reject comfortable lies and embrace uncomfortable truths. 5. Replace emotion with calculation. This is where most people lose. They make emotional decisions and then try to justify them with logic. Successful people do the opposite. They make logical decisions first, then manage their emotions afterward. When someone disrespects you, your emotions say, "Get angry." Your calculation should say, "What response serves me best in the long run?" When an opportunity comes your way, your emotions say, "What if I fail?" Your calculation should say, "What's the real risk versus reward?" When someone tries to manipulate you, your emotion says, "Maybe they're right." Your calculation should ask, "What do they want from me?" How emotional decision-making destroys your life. You react instead of respond. Reactions are automatic and often make things worse. Responses are thoughtful and strategic. You make choices based on how you feel right now, not what will serve you years from now. Emotions change by the hour. Consequences last for years. You become predictable. Once people know how you'll react emotionally, they can easily control you. You waste energy fighting the wrong battles. Emotions make everything feel urgent and important, even when it's not. Here's how calculation changes everything. Before reacting, ask yourself, what outcome do I actually want here? Before acting, ask, how will this choice affect my position 6 months from now? Before engaging with difficult people, ask, is this worth my time, or am I just feeding my ego? Machiavelli once said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does at last." The difference? The wise man calculates first, then acts. The fool reacts first and suffers later. This doesn't mean becoming cold or heartless. It means using your emotions as information, not as your decision maker. Your emotions tell you what matters. Your calculation tells you how to achieve it. For example, your emotion says someone's behavior is unacceptable. Your calculation tells you the best way to address it. Your emotion says an opportunity excites you. Your calculation determines if it's truly worth it. Your emotion says someone hurt you. Your calculation decides whether confronting them helps or just gives you temporary relief. Most people have this backwards. They let their emotions control their decisions and then wonder why their life never changes. They react with anger and make conflicts worse. They make career choices out of fear instead of opportunity. They stay in bad relationships because leaving feels scary, even though staying guarantees pain. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am the master of my emotions, not their slave. 6. The power of strategic detachment. Here's something that will completely shift your mindset. The moment you become too attached to any outcome, you lose your power over it. Why? Because attachment makes you predictable, and predictable people are easy to manipulate. When you desperately seek someone's approval, they control you. When you desperately need a job, the employer has all the leverage. When you desperately want a relationship to work, the other person knows they can treat you however they want. Strategic detachment means this. You want the best outcome, but you're prepared for any outcome. Machiavelli once said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." In other words, never depend completely on anyone or anything. Always have options. Never let someone's decision destroy your plans. Always have Plan B, Plan C, and Plan D. When you're not desperate, you think clearly. When you're not needy, people respect you more. When you're detached from outcomes, you're free to take bold action, the kind that actually creates results. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My peace comes from within, not from external validation. 7. Become the consequence. This is the final and most powerful lesson. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand you. Stop justifying your decisions to those who don't have to live with them. Stop apologizing for taking up space in a world that needs what you bring. You are not here to make others comfortable with your success. You are not here to shrink so others feel bigger. You are not here to apologize for wanting more from life. Machiavelli once said, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." Your worth doesn't come from what others think of you. It comes from what you do with your time and potential. Become the person who doesn't need to announce T.